What in the fuck is up, y'all? It's your boy Winston, motherfucking Wolf. I'm back. And real quick, I want to talk about a little film from 1997. A classic of a film. Yes, it is a classic. There is no dispute because everybody still talks about this film. They still wonder if there's going to be a sequel, a reboot. It's still talked about on a regular basis. That movie is Spawn, based off of the comic book of the same name by Todd McFarlane. Movie stars Michael Jai White as Spawn, John Leguizamo as Violator, Martin Sheen as Jason Wynn. It's got Teresa Russell in it. It's got a couple other people in it that you recognize. But for some reason, I just had the itch. This is one of those movies that maybe like every 3, 4, 5 years you pop in. You just keep going back to. It just reminds you of a simpler time, a time called the 90s. We didn't have to worry about worldwide pandemics wiping a quarter of the fucking world out and putting everybody out of work and shit. You know, better days. But for some reason, I just had the itch. Not for some reason. Let's fucking keep it funky. We just trapped in the fucking house and you start to run out of shit to watch. And I'm like, fuck, dude, looking through my old DVD collection. Damn, I ain't watched Spawn in a while. Let's watch this motherfucking shit. And if you don't know about Spawn, about the story, it's basically about Al Simmons. He works for a CIA type of organization, and he's telling his bosses that he wants out, and they're like, wait up, hold up, motherfucker. We got one last mission. If you care about your country, if you care about your duty, if you care about your job, if you care about the people, you're going to do this one last job. So he's like, all right, fuck it, I'll do it. So he goes on the last job, doesn't realize he's being set up by the Martin Sheen character, Jason Wynn. And he's like, yeah, bitch, we set you up, blah, blah, blah. So they just fucking spray, what's that shit? Kind of like a fucking napalm type of deal on him. Set him on fire, burn him to a crisp. He wakes up like 5 years later, doesn't realize it, but he's been in hell, he's been dead. Comes back to find his wife, played by Teresa Russell. She's married to his best friend. They have a kid. World's moved on without him. They all think he's dead. Ends up meeting this homeless dude that turns out to be a Yoda character. Obi-Wan character, kind of like a mentor. His name is Cogliostro or some shit. I always forget how to fucking pronounce it, but he kind of looks like a homeless man, and he's also from hell. And he kind of explains he's your tour guide through this world, through the story. He is the exposition. He explains everything to you and to Spawn about what's happened to him for the last 5 years while he's been gone, what he's become. He's basically an agent for the devil. In this, they call him Malboja. And the devil's right-hand man is the Violator. And one of his forms is a clown. The other form is like a big demon. And he's basically tells Spawn, like, hey, this is what happened. You made a deal with my boss to come back to Earth so you could see your wife. He didn't say it was gonna be pretty. You're gonna come back and be with your motherfucking wife. You just said you wanted to come back and see her, so you came back and saw her. You're burnt to a crisp. Now you got to pay this debt. The debt is you're gonna lead the armies of hell against the armies of heaven, and you're gonna fucking take over the earth. You're gonna kill everybody. You're gonna rain fire down, all that good shit. But the one guy, the mentor, the Yoda guy to him, Cogliostro, I can't fucking say the name. Anyways, he used to be a hell Spawn, and he switched, and now he fights for heaven, and he's trying to get Spawn. He's like, no, fuck that shit. I know you're depressed. Don't fall into the dark side. There's a lot of parallels with Star Wars with this. Spawn even calls Cogliostro Yoda because he's teaching him. Trying to teach him how to use his powers, kicking knowledge to him, telling him, hey man, you gotta go the right way. You gotta fight for the powers of good. You can't, as bad as they fucked you over, don't give in and take it out on the world. You know what I'm saying? You can be a force for good. And that's basically the story. If you want to check out the rest of it, watch the motherfucking movie. I ain't gonna sit here and go through it with you because that's kind of pointless, and I'll just end up rambling and yada yada yada. But let's just get to what I want to talk about. Michael Jai White, yo, he's an actor. He's one of those actors that you love when you see him in something, especially when it's something that's not a B movie, that's not low budget, that's not super shitty. You want him to succeed. He's one of those few rare actors that you cheer for. And my boy Karate Chris, he came up. I wasn't even thinking of this, a whole theory, because we were like, man, how come he's not in more stuff? And they got so many people cheering for him, so many people. He's so likable. Everyone wants to see him have roles. Everybody wants to see him return to Spawn. Fuck Jamie Foxx. I'd rather see Michael Jai White come back as Spawn. But he was like, dude, because he won't play the game. He's not out there doing that weird shit. He's not eating babies. He's not drinking adrenochrome. He's not worshiping the devil. He's not doing all that. And I was like, that makes sense. You can tell that's probably why you have that feeling where you like him and you want him to succeed, because you can. The whole him being genuine, it comes through in the interviews and on the screen. So I guess that's why you like him so much. But in Hollywood, that's a double-edged sword. Another thing is that I wanted to talk about was they are doing like I mentioned before with Jamie Foxx, they're doing a Spawn reboot. And they've been talking about this shit. They've been talking about a sequel or something ever since that movie came out, Spawn in '97, because it did make money. It's just the critics shit all over it. But ever since 2007, Todd McFarlane was like, fuck it. If I gotta do this shit myself, I gotta finance it myself through my toy company, all that shit, I'm gonna do this motherfucking shit. But then once the Joker came out, it made literally over $1 billion fucking dollars, and it's a rated R movie, and they did not give a fuck. There's been renewed interest in Hollywood in the Spawn movie, so production and pre-production, all that shit has been moving forward at a brisk rate apparently. And they were supposed to start shooting near the end of this year finally, but because of this fucking bitch-ass coronavirus, it's probably gonna get pushed back for however knows who the fuck long knows, who the blah 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 blah. But anyways, Jamie Foxx has been attached to play Spawn for a long time, and I'm sure real fans, people that even have a minimal interest in it, they still want Michael Jai White. But Todd McFarlane has to play the game. He knows if he gets Jamie Foxx, he's an Oscar winner. He's an A-list celebrity. He's gonna get more opportunities. He's gonna get more funding. Jamie Foxx is gonna be able to get on more shows to get that free promotion. I mean, not that Michael Jai White wouldn't, but because Spawn is just it's still to this day, it's such a huge brand name that you could just use that name, the Spawn brand name, as opposed to Michael Jai White. And I think with Jamie Foxx is going to be the other way around. It's going to be Jamie Foxx is going to be the main thing, and the Spawn brand is going to be second. So I think Todd McFarlane's he's using that kind of as a Trojan horse for his, a means to an end. And then Jeremy Renner is supposed to play one of the police. I fucking cannot fucking think of their fucking name right now. Fucking God forgive me. Fanboys, neckbeards, forgive me for fucking forgetting. Fuck, it was right on the tip of my fucking wolf tongue. Shit. But he plays one of the cops. Because apparently this reboot, god damn, I can't even talk it so fucking late. This reboot's supposed to be more about the cops, and Spawn's just kind of like a force of nature that fucking pops up. So the story isn't going to necessarily focus on Spawn. It's going to focus on probably cases that the police are investigating, that Spawn is probably going after the criminals that. Okay, here's what I'm assuming. Like a fucking typical scenario. They show up on a fucking murder scene. They see people ripped apart. They figure out that the people ripped apart are criminals that fucking did some grimy ass shit. And then now they're trying to figure out, well, who in the fuck, if these badass criminals that fucking fucked up all these people, if somebody fucked them up and ripped them into pieces, who did it? And the way this looks, this doesn't look human. The way these people are ripped up, let's go investigate it. And then they come across Spawn. That's what I figure, the basic plot or the basic whatever framing of it's going to be is going to be something similar to that. Now, the last thing I want, and again, I don't have any problem with it, but I would prefer Michael Jai White to fucking come back. They already said Jeremy Renner was going to play one of the cops. It's fucking late. I'm just going to say it again just to cover my bases. Jeremy Renner plays one of the fucking cops. Or he's scheduled to. But the last thing I want to talk about is a way that they could fucking repackage this movie, the Spawn 1997 movie, and have it relevant for today, and have a whole new audience, is if you've seen the VHS movies, matter of fact, you're watching this fucking video right now, hopefully, and you see how it has this old VHS filter on it, where it's got the tracking lines, it's got all that kind of stuff. Now, because of the just it's the actual film or whatever they use. I doubt they used anything digital on it except for the shabby effects. But the film, it didn't age well. It's not one of the, and I'm pretty sure no one's gonna go back and they're not gonna invest the money to clean the film up, to clean the actual fucking negatives of it up, and do any kind of fucking remaster of it. It's just not one of those movies. But I think it could have a second life if somebody went through and edited it and made it look like an old VHS tape and had certain defects in it, certain parts that fucking skip, certain parts that, where the tape is maybe a little crunchy. I think that would add a lot of character to that movie, and it would just give it a whole new fucking whatever paint. What's the saying I'm thinking of? A whole new coat of paint. There we go. They give it a whole new coat of paint, and I think I love the VHS movies, and I love how they have it looks like a VHS tape, and I really think that would add to it, and also just re-edit some of the music. And nowadays, with just fucking software that comes with your fucking laptop and shit that you can download for free, you could redo a lot of that terrible CGI in that. And a lot of the monster scenes with fucking Violator, because there are some, no, not necessarily Violator, but Malboja. He looks fucking terrible in that. That looks like some shit, literally, I'm not for sure, but I'm pretty sure on your phone you could probably download in some kind of program where you could do better CGI than that right now on your phone, compared to what they paid ILM. Yes, Industrial Light and Magic did that shit. And that shows you them motherfuckers, I don't know about, I'm sure it's always going to be, but at that time, you got what you fucking paid for. And they must have fucking, goddamn, barely gave ILM shit, and ILM was like, yo, we'll give you 2 days worth of work. Take it or fucking leave it. Because that's what it looks like. Fucking Malboja looks like shit. Frank Welker does the voice. If you don't know who Frank Welker is, he does the voice for Megatron in the original Transformers cartoons. He's done a whole shitload of fucking voices for tons of different fucking shit. You can look it up. His resume is extensive. It's long. It's fucking too long for me to sit here and run through. You don't want to hear it. I don't want to do it. So just look it up on your own. Frank Welker, legend. But he did the voice, and I'm sorry, the voice is fucking terrible for Malboja. You could redo the voice. You could get... So actually, you could probably get some fucking dude that's just in his basement doing this shit for fun. And you could say, look, dude, Yo, we want to repackage this shit. We're going to put a fucking VHS filter over it. We want someone to come in and redo some of the special effects. Can you do it? We ain't going to pay you shit, but we'll give you some kind of work, like fucking doing the fucking, doing the credits or whatever when we do the fucking Spawn reboot, and then you'll have your name in those credits. You'll be able to put it on your resume. You could probably get somebody like that to do that shit for fucking free as a fucking labor of love, but also, like I said, to have some experience, have something on their resume and be like, yeah, I did the credits for the Spawn reboot with Jamie Foxx. So like that, you could probably, if you fucking worked around it, you could put, like I said, a whole new coat of paint on that movie, make it relevant, make it more fun to watch, and probably not spend fucking one fucking red cent, I'm gonna be honest. But I would really love if they fucking did that, and then just, took some fucking music that, I don't know, maybe spend a little bit of money on some new music, or just have some music that wasn't used, or music from different parts of the original Spawn movie, and kind of move them around, or different arrangements that you paid for the original Spawn movie that just weren't used. Because some of the music cues on there, I think if you added, especially watching these videos where people are recutting The Last Jedi, and there's a lot of simple things that they do where, the scene is the same that Rian Johnson did, it's edited the same visually, but whoever does the fan edit, they add different music for the cues, and it just gives it a whole, that you just look at it a whole nother way. So even something as simple as just rearranging music, that can do wonders for something. But yeah, if they did a VHS style, similar to what they did with Grindhouse, just add visual defects to it, that just, it sounds crazy, but it works, and it would work with that movie. It would work with Spawn 97. You fucking put the filter over it, you have some kid in his basement, or just somebody that fucking can redo the CGI on it and do it for a very low cost, move some music around, cut out maybe a few things, a few lines that really dated. But again, if you put the whole VHS thing over it, then you really don't have to do that, because some of the cheesy stuff that would add to the charm. It would fit in right with that whole motif of it. But I would really love to see that. I wish I had some friends that were talented in that, because I would seriously just have them, even just not with the CGI, but even just re-record the film with the VHS filter over it. I would love to watch a version of that. But what I'm saying, my friends ain't into that shit, and they wouldn't do that shit for me. Some motherfuckers they worried about their own fucking bullshit. They don't give a fuck about Winston. And you watching this, no one gives a fuck about you either. No one gives a fuck about none of us. We ain't shit. We're the fucking skid mark on the world, goddammit. But anyways, speaking of that, John Leguizamo, speaking of skid marks, because there's this part where he pulls this he rips a fucking wet fart, pulls this his tidy whities out, has a big old skid mark. Yo, he fucking straight up, without somebody like fucking John Leguizamo, and I'm gonna say right now, John Leguizamo has not, he carried the movie, but he was that fucking X factor that made that movie go, playing Violator, playing the clown. But John Leguizamo, yo, he needs some kind of lifetime achievement, something, because he's been such an underrated talent for years and years. Yo, we talk about Michael Jai White. John Leguizamo is another one of those motherfuckers too. You had a movie where you had two very likable motherfuckers in real life that you wanted to succeed. Bring both them motherfuckers back for the reboot. Fuck it. Because both them motherfuckers have not got their props. Michael Jai White, John Leguizamo, yo, off top. They need the fucking Tarantino treatment to fucking revive their careers and put them on Front Street. But yeah, and props to fucking Christopher Nolan for putting Michael Jai White in The Dark Knight when other people wouldn't put him in shit. And speaking of Tarantino, he's in a deleted scene for Kill Bill, Michael Jai White, where he runs into Bill. So FYI, at 2:33 in the morning, with your boy Winston rambling about shit. But anyways, once again, I watched Spawn from 1997 earlier. Can't really think of anything else to ramble about. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's worth watching. Keep in mind though, it's 97. CGI was still in its infancy. But if you love the character Spawn, and you love Michael Jai White, which everybody does, and you love John Leguizamo, which everybody does, give this shit a fucking watch while you're inside trying not to catch the Rona. And this your boy Winston Wolf, and I'm out.